Did is this special table here?
I'm not sure, Mel.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to sit here then? I'm sorry, what?
The mission is to say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's. Hang on. Test.
Yeah, there's a large one there.
Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Oh, hey, you would happen to have the Zoom in information. Waiting for this. That's the guy to get her. I know some good.
And then you put one. They go. And then she. Then. We'll let a little bit. What about the meat? Yeah, also make it. That's something. And we have a couple man. Where is the meat, according to this letter, doesn't start till 5:30. No, she's talking to me, she said, oh, meat. Oh, well, you know, all dishes don't have to have meat.
Do you know if there are any easels? I don't know. He just left.
So regular free.
Oh.
Hi. I'm just not going to your house. So I'm on the phone a couple of times. You were going to pull my information. You know, Jacqueline Lindsay. And that's been. But I actually brought everything that I sent you. Yeah. Okay, so this is where we are so far with the design plan. We have like 4 more meetings, and then they're gonna do the 3-dimensional design so we can start on the fundraise. I've got to have my letter of support from the church and a letter of support for Michigan State, supporting the program. And there's only one resident on the block. She's on my design team, so she's a part of the design. Members of the church are part of it. Ms. Blackdale, who came to the meeting, so she's supported. I partnered with Parker Village and Liberty Plaza to bring this. Well, my application is, I found out that I do have the media taxes. I called, made arrangements. I made a payment today. But when I put my application in, they were not putting it on. So everything is right here. The email I sent you, the letters of support, the resume, and the executive. I made this one. Yep. And then I paid my application back in December. Oh, no.
But you seem to tell me about it.
Okay, but I don't know. I'm at the right one for what I'm trying to do. Okay, thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna turn you up. No, I got you. Yeah, I didn't add it to the following. I ain't got enough tables, so I sit over here against the wall. No. Hi there. Okay, then, and then what about the one at the Purple Church? Oh, okay then. Okay. Bye-bye.
No, I don't think.
Uh-oh.
I don't think so.
I caught myself cutting it off. All right.
Want me to pull that chair over here for you?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah,
Cause you won't be able to see anything.
I know, but I was gonna wait to see what they were gonna do. Did they, had they plan on, you know?
Oh, here you go. I just pulled this one since you.
I appreciate
Get
it.
ready to stand up.
It's kind of rough some days and some days I'm all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want to put it over here with us?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Oh, you go.
Oh,
Jesus. How are you today?
Okay, for you.
okay. You ate the pain, I'm like, yeah,
And,
I ain't gonna let it keep me down.
another plate.
Oh, thanks.
No, mine came over. If you think maybe it's me and not for you, for the last year, it's gonna look at me, I can open it. Yeah, they do. Saw one of them, this one. World and the city. Interesting. Yeah. 5 minutes, but it could go longer. So I'm like, okay, there's that, you know, just feel like. It's not the same, I know. It sounds good. Why? How the meeting. Make sure it's small. The bar back. Brown. You know. Okay, I think this one is good. Really good. Yeah, it's not hard.
I was suggesting.
Not that long, you didn't even move like this, so. Anyway. That's what I was thinking. And of course, you know, maybe it's going to happen. Better than they get the drive, you know, but I do what I can do. You see too.
Yes, we might. No.
No, I just like so I said, I said, I thought about my phone, I said, I just add to my phone. Yeah, you know the sign? Yeah.
It's good. They said a pretty well thing.
That's in my car.
They said that link is taken from the website out. Man, so. Let me ask.
Hey, Lackey, you there?
I am.
How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Question.
Yes.
One of the folks in the sand said that the city Zoom link is taken to another meeting. I don't know nothing about that. Do you?
It's only broadcast on YouTube.
Oh, it's only broadcast on YouTube. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's what you can know. Now then one of the commissioners is trying to she's trying to call in. Is the Zoom link number the same as it always is?
I sent it to her.
Okay, cool. That's what we need to know. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Hey, how you doing? Okay, so we are. So you, it's being broadcast. Nah, that's. Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Like you there?
I am.
Question I wanted to know, one of the presenters, if they need to present something and they need to get a control of the Zoom, how do we do that?
They just need a link. I just need an email address.
Okay. 1 second. Excuse me, sir. He needs an email address to send the link.
Okay.
See if he needs it, and he'll email you the link.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, so I have Beard coming back over there. He'll get it from you and then send it.
Okay, thank
He
you.
should be there in a minute.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes. Very good now. Thank you very much.
Never. So I don't know all information. So now. That's it, that's three. Right, okay, no worries. Yeah.
Andrews.
Yeah.
Over.
Yo, right.
Excuse me, folks. The speaker called and said you'll be here in 2 minutes. So all I can say is don't shoot the messenger.
Oh, no.
Whatever's supposed to happen, I don't know.
It's planning commission.
Okay, well, somebody called and said
Somebody.
we'll be there in 10 minutes.
Would be a problem. How you doing, Tom?
Does everyone have an agenda?
Thank you.
But get started in a minute, so. Barbara, are you there? Mr. Willis? I guess that was All right, folks, we're gonna get started here. Time is 5:43 PM, September the 20th, 2023. Highland Park Planning Commission meeting is called to agenda. Let's call to order, excuse me. First order of business. Take roll. Commissioner Willis. Commissioner Pye. Here. Commissioner Bercy. Here. Commissioner Billington. Commissioner Jordan. Here. Commissioner Galata. Wow. Item number 3, approval of minutes. They were not complete on time, so we will postpone and we will approve the August 16th minutes at the October meeting. Public comments regarding agenda items only. 2 minutes, please. Are there any public comments regarding this agenda? Public comments regarding this agenda. Going once.
Can you explain what this proposal is about this meeting today?
Every third Wednesday of the month, the city has a planning commission meeting regarding items that are in the process of being recommended for whatever within the city council. This is that meeting. The items on this agenda are the topics and subjects that we will be discussing. There will be presenters. Sometimes we have public hearings. We have public hearings today. Sometimes we're actually voting on recommendations or this and the other. We are not a legislative body. We are a regulatory body, meaning that we are following the process as set forth in the zoning code and the city charter. And we recommend things to be approved and passed along to city council for final approval. So that's every third Wednesday of the month is when we're scheduled to have.
Oh, thank you very much.
Ma'am, if you could stand so we can hear you. The reason for it, we're streaming, and so this is being broadcast on YouTube, so we want to make sure that people can hear you.
Okay, so, this is my first time coming with the new system. And so this is regarding the building that's going to be built on grade, correct?
That's one of the items on the agenda, but like I said, this is regarding, like, there'll be a second public comment section that once all of everything has been presented, where individuals can come and give their comments, or during a public hearing, if it's one of the items, we will open up the floor for public comments while that public hearing is in session.
Okay, and this is not that one,
I'm not sure, but.
later on, okay.
Yeah, but like, you'll see how, you'll hear me basically how I just open up the floor. If it is one of those items, I'll say, okay, the floor is now open for public comments, and then whoever has commentary that they'd like to share, can go from there once that is open. But this is for items regarding if you have a problem or something's on here or something's not on here, that's where we can have a public comments in this section of the meeting. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any more public comments? Going once?
Is there any, thing that we can talk about, at another meeting, other time and date that's not on the agenda?
Anyone, like at the end, what is it, item number 7, public comments, that's where it's open season.
Okay.
You can have a kind of, if you have a question or something or discuss or want to bring something, and it becomes a part of the public record once we get to that section.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any more agendas? You have a few people that don't have.
I got one.
They had some, and they were passing them around.
I have one.
Did everyone get an agenda or did we run out or
We ran out.
ran out? Okay. Okay, well, if anybody can share or if anybody needs one, yeah, don't mind sharing with your neighbor, that would be appreciated.
Thank you.
Okay, public comments regarding the agenda? One twice? Okay. Move along to old business. Okay. Public hearings regarding the following projects. Item number 1, Nathan Harvey. 2, Almus Building Supply, Road Almus. Item 3, Romero Group, Romero Williams. Item 4, JKM Holdings LLC. What we're doing today, so that you all know, the way that this is format is each item, the presenters will come and then we'll open up a public hearing. So this is what some of you may or may not have been received mail or notice or saw notice posted publicly, whether it was the Chronicle or a City Hall. That presenter will be able to come and publicly speak, to which at that point, we will then open up the floor for comments, public commentary, and then the dialogue will kind of go from there. To which upon, and while we're at it, commissioners, I was looking for some feedback. Do you want to open the public hearing, close it, and then vote? Or do you want to do all 4 public hearings and then vote on them individually afterwards?
Still my preference, yeah, I was just gonna I agree with Mr. Pye. My preference is that we address one at a time, open it. That's that way, it's fresh on their minds, the answers.
Okay, I have no problem with that. All right, you good with that? Okay, all right. In that case, we'll move on to item number 1. The time is 5:49 p.m. Public hearing regarding the Nathan Harvey project is now open. Mr. Andy would like to introduce and then pass it along.
So let me introduce Mr. Harvey. Are you ready?
Yes,
Mr. Buren,
yes. We provided the site plan and floor plan at the last planning commission. Well, I'm sorry, I'm Nathan Harvey. The Consolidated Utilities, that's the entity that owns this, or wants to purchase the property. At the last planning commission meeting, we supplied floor plans and a site plan that went into a little more detail. But this is what the project will look like. It's an 8-unit apartment building. Each unit has its own exterior door. It's a 2-level building, but each unit on the lower level and the upper level also have another upper level that looks out onto the living dining room. So each unit is actually a 2-story unit, and the other units are actually 2-story above grade. We think that's going to be quite special. Parking is on the other side of the alley. This property, that the apartment building is on, is 18 grand. Parking will be on the other side of the alley on the lot, which is 30 grand. we don't require any variances for this project. So we're just asking the planning commission to approve. The town. Sale of the land. Purchase of the land. That's all I have. Are there any questions?
Well, just so that you know, like what we do, I apologize for not clarifying. How we'll do this is we will, once the presenters have presented, the floor will be opened up for the commissioners to ask any questions. And then once our questions have been answered, then we'll open up the floor for public question. I apologize for not adding that.
There's nothing to stop here. Check if the device is on your home Wi-Fi network.
I have Siri. Okay. So I'm sorry, Mr. Harvey. I'm okay. Commissioners, you know, if you recall last month, we did do a presentation. Mr. Hinton, we had asked if it was possible to have some of his physical documents that he had presented made available on the city website or through the CD. Do you know whether or not that was the case? Okay. So, but questions, any questions, commentary?
I do, Mr. Harvey, I know you said that there was no variance required. Who determined that?
Well, actually, your staff or
Not my staff.
CEDD staff should also make a determination of whether any variance is required.
Oh, so it.
I determined.
Okay, that's what I needed to.
But
Okay, but
CEDD staff should also make that.
absolutely, that's why I asked, you said no variance was required. Okay.
Well, let me just say, the Harvey, not that they generally don't even know something like that. So that's what they get. But we're going to add a plan. Planning.
So essentially, you know, what you're saying is that his plan is in compliance with the zoning ordinance as it's currently constructed, so there will be no for variance. Well, that's based.
That's what I'm
on-
Based on his
based on-
education,
Yeah,
not
based
based
on-
on CED.
So we're gonna have to think of a plan to give us. Okay.
And you're not asking for one right now, no, so. Okay. Commissioners, any questions? Well, now, we can open up the door to public commentary, so we'll go 2 minutes, we'll go kind of in the order received. I know you were first, so we'll let you go first, then the young lady in the back.
I don't have any comments. We can't, at least I can't hear what you're saying most of the time.
Okay,
And like if a question is asked and you answer that question without saying what the question was, we don't know what the communication is.
okay.
So I hope everybody.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, moving forward, I got a big mouth and I'm loud, so moving forward, if everyone, when you speak, if you can stand up and just kind of speak up so that your voice can. We'll go from there. Sir, go ahead. And introduce your name and say your name.
My name is Brian Nelson, and I'm involved with property on West Grand, right at the area. And I'm just trying to get a solid idea on exactly where that is, because I know where the oil dispatch is and the alley. So this is being proposed to be on the west side of that alley. Is that my understanding?
No. Actually, on the east side.
The east side of the alley.
The parking is on the west side.
So it's gonna be separate. The building will be on the east side and the parking lot will be on the west side of the alley. Okay. I'll let somebody else talk, cause I might get too carried away.
So just for the public's sake, just as a visual, so this is Woodward, and then we have the oil change station, and then across the alley will be the building itself. No? Okay, all right, I heard you say the parking will be on the east side of the alley. Okay.
The west side.
Okay. I apologize, but.
We have Woodward, and then going west
Right,
is, the oil change place. The oil change lot where you drive into the oil change place. 18 grand, which is the lot that this building will sit on,
okay.
and then the alley, and then the parking lot, which is on the lot, which is 30 grand.
Okay, now that's where I understood you to explain it last month, when we got the outline.
Yes.
This month, it sounded different to me, it was my comprehension. Thank you.
You can state your name.
They're 60 years. And I'm just concerned about the aesthetics of having that parking lot, you know. I had hoped to see houses on that side. You know, having a parking lot that is almost across the street from my house. I don't.
I can address that.
Would you repeat the question, please?
She's concerned that there's going to be a parking lot across from her house. Because that parking lot does in fact sit on what would normally be a residential lot. And my building sits on a lot that is considered commercial and in the central business. Now, it's typical, particularly in situations along Woodland, where if an owner can't provide enough parking on their property, they will take like the first lot or the first two lots into a residential area and turn it into parking. Most communities allow that and Highland Park does.
That expanding into,
That may have been true. That lot is privately owned now. And I don't know. I'll be honest, even if I acquired it, it would have some parking that it would continue to find. That part of their lot is being up for a second apartment. Frankly, Highland Park is, and if I could take a moment to explain it. Highland Park is in a situation where the population dropped to 89. Last census, it was over 11,000. We've lost $250,000 a year in revenue sharing because our population is dropped. Comparatively, Hamtramck's population is 26,000. And we're at 89. To survive as a city, we need more people living, period. And we need to get apartment buildings, single family homes. Any that we can get, we need to accept until we get to 26,000.
We are operating soon. You can't use the way we got there. That high.
Towards Woodward, yes, or I'm sorry, towards Grand, yes, and also towards towards the rest of the lots down West Grand. Because the lot is 30 feet wide and these parking spaces are only going to need 20 feet, so in that 10 feet, yes. I would.
So to restate, to recap for those of you in the back that said you couldn't hear, what the question was, actually, Ms. Stanford says she resided in Highland Park for over 60 years, and it's a concern for her because of the parking lot. She'll come out, she'll look at that parking lot. So the suggestion made by No, not Mr. Harvey. Mr. Getty, was that, maybe a green buffer could be, fashioned in front of Grand Boulevard, so that when she comes out of her home, she doesn't have to look at that parking lot. And that could be an option, even going down a little further where there might be additional parking, lots. I hope I did a recap. Did I capture the essence of what was there? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Going once, going twice. Okay, well, time is
Low or high income?
Housing? Probably market rate.
That was my question last.
Any other questions? Okay. Time is 6:02. Public hearing portion is closed. Commissioner. We will move on. Both putting a motion on the floor to recommend approval and advancement on the city council. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
All right, second. First. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion is so carried. Advanced on for recommended approval. Congratulations, Mr. Harvey. Look forward to seeing you soon. Sub item number 2, Almus Building Supply Company. Raad Almus, present. Step forward and introduce yourself. That there's only a handful of visuals that you could take a look at it and pass it around. I have more. Like you have more? Yeah, I'll bring them up. Okay.
Oh, water.
Thank you.
I need your email.
This over there has one, about 1427. Again, that's
What's your email?
Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay, folks, so we're gonna get this thing back on track here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bernice Alamance. I'm with Alamance Downtown Real Estate. We're here, for some properties on Hamilton. The first one is that,
I'm sorry, didn't mean to go. This. It's 6:06. This public hearing section is open. I apologize. Please continue.
first property is at 16011 Hamilton. We currently own part of this project, property, which, looking on this, it would be the building. I would say 80% of it. The reason we're here is we were trying to purchase the lot as well as the remaining portion of the building from the city, which would be the parking lot and about 10 feet of our current building that we own. The condition of the building is, it's not doing great right now, but we'd like to come in there, all new walls, new roof, new parking lot, and get this going at the retail. Well, a little about us. We've been in Highland Park for 23 years with the Fresh Fish House on the corner of Woodward and Presidio. So we're not new to the city. We're also not new in construction. I'll show you a similar project that we did on 8 Mile. A similar size and a similar condition. This is a very similar project that we did and we completed, and it's currently occupied by a tax company right now. The next building we have is this beautiful building on Hamilton and Mott. Also currently vacant, and this is a historic structure. It needs quite a bit of work. We really like this building because of the historic nature. We're familiar with historic. This would be our home office, assuming we get everyone's blessing here. A similar project that we're doing that we finished is in Brush Park, the historic building, and this is a transformation. So we can get this done, and we can make this look good. Question.
Commissioners, again, this was a conductor from last month. He gave a presentation. Are there any questions, concerns? Items like Commissioner Pye?
Building there,
Yes,
that's gonna be an office building.
it's gonna be our office building, right? The back portion is it's basically a block wall. So we'll use that to house our equipment, anything like that. But the main front right here is really pretty, and there's no reason for it to be used other than the nice office space. Yep,
When you say block, it's cinder blocks?
it's cinder block wall, nothing special about it.
Oh, the other building?
The other building is it's at 16011 on the corner of Hamilton and Pilgrim.
Right, what is that one?
This is just gonna be retail. It'll be available for anyone to take over a lease or run a home restaurant or whatever it may be.
So like a strip mall type situation?
Exactly, but it's just a standalone building in the park.
Questions? Okay, I will open this up for public questions. Anybody with questions? Please stand and introduce yourself and speak loud so we all can hear. Thank you.
Good afternoon, my name is Greg Wood. Nation Islam building.
In the main part, yes,
And then there's
in the remaining bank. We're a building company. So we take buildings from just like this and we completely restore them. The back portion, we can house our equipment, our podcast, things of that. And then the front, we'll have a meeting, all projects being held up front.
So essentially, the front would be for public use and the back would be for private.
Correct.
Hi, I noticed that you have.
If you could please stand and.
Okay.
Your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gracie. Okay, I noticed you have such a nice flat roof. And you know, we're talking about community solar. You think you might be able to partner with an organization and put solar panels on your roof
on this particular project.
This one and your other one, both, that 16011.
This one, I assure you, I'm really open to it. On the other one, I kind of want to leave it up to the tenant, whoever gets in there. Whatever their use may be, and seeing what kind of power they may need. I'm open to solar. Absolutely.
That sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Comments? What? Twice? Okay, time is 6:12. Public hearing portion is closed. Commissioners, I will move this to a motion on the floor to recommend approval and advancement on to city council. Can I get a motion, please? Mercy, second. Aye. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion is so approved. Advanced on council. Congratulations, Thomas.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you soon. All right, commissioners, we're going to. Slight change, we're gonna reverse number 3 and number 4, so where number 3, the Romeo Group, is gonna go last. And JK and Holding will be the next presenter. Please note that your agenda. JK and Holdings. Up. Kim. 6:12 again. Time is 6:13 M. Public hearing for JK Holdings is now open. Need to start, please introduce yourself.
How you doing? My name is Lawrence Johnson, 50-year resident of Highland Park. I'm proposing to purchase the property at 12024 Woodward. I currently own and operate Woodward Avenue Bar and Grill at 12,000 Woodward. I would like to purchase this property that's been vacant for the last 15 years or more, and turn it into a breakfast bar service in the city and the surrounding neighborhood. We just think there are no barriers required for this project. It's going to seat a total of 97 patrons, 49 inside, 48 outside, with parking, its own parking lot, 23 space.
Okay, is that it? Commissioners, again, presenter from last month. You have any questions? Okay. Got it. Right. It's been a previous presenter. I'm saying, sorry. All right, we'll open this up to, sorry.
This will accommodate how many people?
97 total.
97.
That's inside and out.
Okay.
The question is, it did not require a variance. Is that something you determined? Or who determined?
According to the building inspector,
Okay.
it did not.
Questions, commissioners? Okay, all right, well, we will open this now, clearing up to public questions and comments. Any questions?
Me again.
So for the record, this is different, technically, this is a different hearing. So,
I know. Just, I'm just trying to envision the location. That's at Woodward and
Video.
It's between, it's between California and Connecticut. It's between my building and City Hall. It's for adjoining, it's not adjoining, it's a separate, sit-alone building. But
Yeah.
it has so much brush and stuff in front of it, not being taken care of it. A lot of people don't even know the building is.
And my next question, you said putting something inside,
49 outside and have an outside patio.
so you have a patio on the front side to accommodate the outside.
Yeah,
That would be year round
well, it'll be until the season.
to the season, okay.
Yeah.
And so then
And they'll.
winter time, it's
inside. Yeah.
turn on, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's not adjoining, it's adjacent.
All right. Okay.
It's that white building. Is it the white building?
Yeah.
It's like
It's
the
a gold-
opposite-
gold is colored.
Right.
Only a church.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So what about, is that even 2,000 square feet?
This is, 21.
Okay, so it's right at. She was actually, like, you can stand it. So, yeah,
Hello, my name is Tammy Stafford, a resident of Highland Park.
they can't hear you back.
My name is Tammy Stafford, a resident of Highland Park. And I would like to ask, are you going to hire any low income employees? Because I'm looking over the city of Highland Park, I've been here since I was a baby. And most of the businesses that are here, they're hiring people out from Detroit. You don't see many people that's been here for a long time, that no income as employees.
So, and this, you have to hire people to apply.
That's the one.
I mean, but how they gonna get experience after they're gonna train? Everybody has it.
They do, but at some point, you got, I mean, if you come in and you can't comprehend, you can't read, and not saying everybody kind of party is like that, but me being in the bar business is, I have to be there. Most people, when they come and working, a lot of times they're stealing, half of my, a lot of my inventory is leaving out. Without me getting, I'm putting out $5,000, I only get 2,500 back, because the other went out the back door. So you have to have people that you can trust, as well as people that are experienced in this particular field.
Well,
But I've hired people from Highland Park, younger people. But it just didn't work out. Because most young people, they're here, they can't get to work on time. It's a bunch of excuses all the time.
what do you consider to be young?
Under 30.
Okay, so from 40 to 50-ish. I'm considering that you're doing background check.
We do.
So if a person comes out in the 40-ish to 50-ish age group and they don't have
You know
record,
how many people I've hired and say, come the next day, I've seen it.
so how do you know people do a service or something?
We tried going through a service. But what you have to realize with the service is that you pay, let's say if you put in for the job, I have to pay for you to come, and you may come and may not work out. But that's $50, $60 that someone is recommending you to come to apply. Not even get the job, but just to apply.
So how do you
So a
hire
lot
your
of
people?
times we get word of mouth.
How do you hire
Or
your
people the people in that particular business, they hear about, well, these people, they need somebody to work over here, so we get a lot of people like that. And then, some of, our family members. Family members, a lot of them haven't worked out. So, I mean, sometimes it's just about luck of the draw, it's not, when you hire somebody, it's not like you're gonna get they look good on paper, but once you put on to the test, it doesn't, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
How do you post your job?
Okay, well, I hate to cut you, we do have a 2-minute limit now, so I thank you very much for your commentary, so we want to move on, but thank you very much for sharing your public sentiment. Sir?
Hi, Nathan Harvey, business owner in Highland Park. I'm in favor of this project. One of the nice things about it is the parking lot for this project will be immediately adjacent to his parking lot, Woodward Avenue Bar and Grill, which will help alleviate parking problems for both businesses because they essentially operate at different times of the day. So he's got more than enough parking for the breakfast place and now more parking for Woodward Avenue Bar and Grill. So I'm in favor.
Thank you, sir. You back?
So, Greg Lewis, I'm in favor also. I mean, as you know, people look at all the big box restaurants out of our city. We know that local homegrown restaurants in other communities are somewhat mistaken in those cities. So, I'm a mistake. I think that's our part. Great.
Sir? Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead and then you. Go ahead.
I just wanted, oh, excuse me, my name is Gracie Wilson, and I just wanted to say how proud I am of you. I graduated with my son. All right, all right.
Okay. Okay, we were kind of Thomas, I'm in favor of your project as well. Everything that you've been doing has been a class act at the Bar and Grill. Some of the groups I'm involved in, we rent parts of it out from time to time and, treat it very well. There's no, stuff going on in the place, you know. That's why I feel comfortable going there, and to have a breakfast place in Highland Park means that we don't have to go down to Sam's Grill.
Right.
That's right. Go right here in Highland Park, and that's something that we need, because we represent Highland Park. Yeah, we represent. Ain't no place to be, but now it on.
Any other questions, comments?
Oh, I know what I was. My name is Tammy Stafford, and what I wanted to say was the water board, I'm a part of the water board, and we're passing out little for residents and business owners to go to land and provide for the water. Our
Probably the staff. You're projecting towards that gentleman, and we can't hear what you're saying. And what
Stand
you're
right
saying
here.
is important, I believe.
I got you. And, okay, I'll work with the water board and we're walking around to businesses, churches, anywhere where we can see residents that go in and out of the businesses. And we're trying to go, book a trip to Lansing regarding the water that they saying we owe all this water.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I mean, this money.
The questions or comments are projected to this in the public hearing. Once we get to the final aspect and we're done, by all means, but you have any questions?
Well, towards them actually.
Okay, well. Okay,
He's telling me to stand this way.
Okay.
So I'm trying to.
okay, all right.
Because I want them to be able to hear me. I wasn't
Understood,
there.
understood.
So, we had a young lady that came into your establishment. And she asked, would your establishment like to donate, money to the cause so that we can get a bus, food, paper, podium, seating, things like that. And she talked to a young lady and she said she wanted a list of the things that, you know, we need the donation for. Gracie, did you provide that list?
No, that young lady, his wife, and Charmaine is in contact with her.
Okay,
I think her
and,
name Charmaine, Miss Johnson.
okay, Ms.
Yeah.
Johnson, have you spoken? to
You know,
her?
that's for one of our meetings. you know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, so yeah, we're off into the weeds. The things that are discussed, even if they're projected towards him, are pertaining to this project and the public hearing as it pertains to this. So that's it. Now, once we're out of this and we're into the, by all means, you have 2 minutes to say whatever it is as it pertains to, but that what you're talking, even though it's relevant to his business, it's not pertaining to this particular project
Okay.
that we're discussing.
I
Make
got
sense? Okay. Any other questions pertaining to this particular project, which is on the floor right now? Once, twice. Okay, so commissioners, I will move us back towards putting a motion on the floor to recommend site plan approval and advancement to city council. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Motion from Burks, second from Jordan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, sir. Take the vote. Okay, that brings us to the fourth public hearing. JKM, I'm sorry, Romero Group, Romero Williams. Are you all prepared? Are you all ready? Team ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Time is 6:27. Also, we closed that hearing part at 6:25. My apologies. That was number 3. 6:27. Public hearing is open. Yeah, floor, sir.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Romero Williams, CEO of the Romero Group, and it's my partner, Brian. And what we're going to present to you today is presentation for with about 30% of HP over on Walk Hamilton area. We're gonna go down, I'm gonna try and skim through it. It's a pretty big presentation. But so if I lose you, we're gonna try to make sure you understand everything when we run through it, okay? I'm trying to speak loud for you too. All right, well, you can start off, Brian.
Okay, we're gonna start off with basically Romero giving a basic background of some of his experience coming into the city and where he's come from, the things he's done in the past.
So, well, was this pretty much I have been a part of the stadium. I had a little project stuff on there, but we're gonna skip that right now. We'll come back to that later. Well, there's a lot of things around the state of Michigan that I have built, so you guys can see. You can go visit too. But we're gonna start with the presentation due to time.
Okay, we have a proposal to do from Hamilton, starting from West 6 Mile all the way down to Puritan, the east and west side of Hamilton, from the residential and commercial development, including townhomes, condominiums, and single family homes. Next slide, please. Once again, Walk Hamilton is the name of the project. And this is a breakdown. The architecture design groups myself, Alex, Romero, Antoine, and Barry are some of the people that kind of helped out with the plan of the project.
Next slide.
What we have here is a map showing what the development is going to be. We have approximately phases 1, 2, 3, and 4. And phase 1 is going to be basically 1A, 1B, and 1C. The first phase will actually be Hamilton itself. You can see the kind of purple color area where it'll be all both sides of Hamilton, the east and west side, going once again from Puritan all the way to 6 Mile.
Next slide. Oh, this is proposal A, part 1, phase 1A. It's going to be 17 buildings. On the east and the west, you have 9 on one side, which is the west side, and we have 7 on the east side. It will consist of shopping units or mixed use. You will have on the first level, it will be able to have businesses, and the second level, we will have parking structures. We like to put our parking on there that way. We already know the city is kind of cluttered. We're safe for spots. You need enough spots. Then on top, we will have 30 units in each building. Okay, it's going to be approximately 510 extra units on both sides of Hamilton. We have 10 1-bedrooms, 10 2-bedrooms, and 10 3-bedrooms. Total square feet of the building will be 48,000 square feet. 12,000 square feet will go to your commercial. All right. Later on, there's more specs that's just broken down about the square footage and everything else going on. Next slide. So this right here is just the before picture. Everybody live here, you know what's going on in the city, you know how it look. So now we're going to show you the new Highland Park.
This is the aerial view of what we're gonna show, how it's gonna look once we finish the development. Next slide, please. This is just another area view showing what the city will look like going down Hamilton. Another area view showing the east and west side of Hamilton also. So we're kind of coming in closer and closer, letting you see what the development's gonna look like. What we have here proposed is once you come in, Hamilton come from 6 miles, so you come from the Detroit side, going into Highland Park. This would be like the gateway into the city. We plan to have 2 buildings on both sides, commercial on the bottom, residential on the top, going straight down Hamilton. Once again, we have another slide showing coming into the city. We didn't plan just a straight shot. What we wanted to do is have more like a walking community, so it'll be something that people will enjoy living there. So we're not going to have cookie cutter buildings on both sides. Each building will have its own unique individual look, so people have a feel of wanting to live there instead of living in a box. Next slide, please. We also have plans to bring in commercial as a part of the residential. We are talking to some of the major retailers out there to bring a smaller box to work into the city, which will create jobs for people, so you can live and work there at the same time.
And with these down low on the commercial, we have enough spaces to house 180 businesses for the jobs, for tax dollars.
Hopefully you can see it. We did have a planned community where it's not just, again, a straight line. You can't walk through it and enjoy it. It's like actually, it's almost like you're walking through a residential park instead of just walking through a bunch of concrete. So we went beyond the concrete general to kind of get a more architectural feel and present like a European city or a mix of European meets America. Next slide, please. We do have islands planned, so when you come into the city, you're not just doing a straight shot driving from 6 miles straight down the Puritan. We do have time to come in where it's a walkable community, where it's not just gonna have cars just come flying through, so people can enjoy themselves as they go.
Next slide.
This is also another shot showing the different buildings that we have. And also some of the buildings, it won't just be, Hamilton won't be closed off. There'll be walks through, so you can go from the main portion of Hamilton into the neighborhoods.
And we'll tie into our parks and the greenways. Next slide.
And this is basically showing some of the restaurants.
Some of the restaurants that we have coming. So I don't know if anyone knows about Lily's. It's been around for 115 years. I'm half owner with that restaurant also. We definitely want to bring you here too, off of Hamilton. We have a lot of people that's very interested in being a part of this and bringing business here. You know, the last 25 years that we work in, I've built major relationships and connections that I could just make phone calls and help us out. Next slide.
Once again, we're stepping down from 6 miles going towards Puritan, and these are the buildings that will be there on both sides.
And see that the architecture designs are very different too. Now this is really good. This is the pioneer of the city. You can see the People's Church of High HP, Bishop right there. And then he have more on the other side, so he can have more members to join the church, right? Walking, just get right up and walk straight to church. Everybody needs Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And he's on board with us, and we're partnering with him with some things in here, and we're working together with the Romero Group and the city of Highland Park and the church. Next slide.
Once again, there's an arrow shot going from Puritan towards 6 miles. We went towards out and going into the city down Hamilton. Next slide, please.
So this is phase B, still phase 1 though, but it's part B. What it will consist of is a hotel that we need. You know, we have all these functions going on with the golf tournament. We need people to stay here. We want them to spend their money here. We want them to see our businesses that's here. Also, we will have a gated private subdivision, and we'll have 2 high towers right next to the hotel. All right, we're going to go through it and show you. Next slide.
This is the current area where the hotel would be. As you can see, it's mostly vacant homes. our plan is to go into an area that's already just dilapidated. The homes that are there are mostly abandoned or beyond repair anyway. So we're basically going to improve on what's already existing. Next slide, please. This is a plan design for the hotel. Totally something different for this market, totally something different for this region. So it just won't be, once again, it won't just be a box. Time's been taken out to have a nice architectural feature. So when you see something like this, it will be memorable for people to come back for Highland Park.
And it will bring more jobs. We're hiring everybody. And people that don't know, we'll train them. Yeah. Next slide. Once
Closer
again,
picture of the hotel.
just another closer blown up. So as this part now, we get into the subdivision, and once again, we're doing something new, something beautiful. We're bringing something to HP that everybody will want to be a part of. All right. So now we have about 8 different designs, custom designs that the customers can pick from. So I'm just going to show you a couple. I'm going to run through it pretty fast, but I'm going to show you a couple of designs, and everything can be modified for the customer. And these are about 3,000 square feet. So it's perfect because we have a lot of people from Parma Woods, from all over there. They all want to move, downsize. The houses are too big, the energy, the heat bills, all that. So we've already talked to several people that would love to relocate. In the gated community, everybody needs that, right? So once again, we're just showing you some more designs that we have. And everything can be modified. And this subdivision will have all types of amenities. We're going to have like a garden where you can go pick your fresh vegetables and it will be free charge if you live there. We're going to have pools, tennis courts, racquetballs, the whole 9 yards, hair salon. You're going to have a good time if you stay there. So I encourage you to stay there. I'm going to get a house there too. I got to. You know. Next slide. We have something for almost every style, for every person. You know, it's not a cookie cutter, once again. One of my favorites. You see me living there, you know, but this is the last one design. So you see, we give you a lot of options that people can pick from, and we still can change the colors and all that good stuff. Next. And this is just floor plans, showing you what, 3,000 square feet look like up and down, 2-car garage. Keep going. Next slide. Go to part C for you.
Okay, once again, we're also going to go into the neighborhoods to build into some of the infill lots. We're not going to just focus on Hamilton and off of 6 Mile and Puritan. In the existing neighborhoods, we do plan on building homes also and fixing homes up there on the outside that can be improved. So we won't forget about the residents that are already there. We hope that this will be a plan that will kind of affect the entire area, not just for new construction, but also existing structures that are already there.
Not yet, Brian. Not yet. We're doing our presentations after the presentation.
Are they all 2-story?
Ma'am,
Oh, okay.
thank you.
So this is, once again, these are some, what we got going on for the residential part. Like Brian said, we have to backfill and fill up. It just can't be Hamilton looking nice in other places. So we want to hit everything that we just possible. And you see some streets may get more homes because some streets are bigger, so that's where we're at. And this is just a little concept to show you what some of the interiors can be and can be like. Next slide. So all we run into is just showing you what's there now. All the befores, we have broken everything down to a T, every address. I know everything that's going on with every house, whether it has asbestos, whether it has mold, where I have done my homework, people. Next slide. Once again, showing you the city, what's going on right now. And somewhere in Florence, there will be a park somewhere in that area too. So now we get to the residential homes where we're going to be putting up. And yes, some will be 2-stories, some will be ranch styles, because everyone can walk up the stairs. So I have to think about everyone. I got a beautiful price range starting for everyone. I'm thinking about everybody, all walks, and we will have programs put together to make sure that we can help everyone get into where they need to get. So this is 1,700 square feet, 2-car garage. It's beautiful. Next. Once again, 1,700 square feet. We don't want to have a cookie cutter, so it's just a different design. Like I tell you, we can change a lot of stuff. So then we know we got bigger families. So we give you more square feet. Starting going up, you might need 2 more bedrooms for the bigger families. So we have something for everyone.
And we also have, there's multiple parks that will be in the neighborhood, so we won't just have a concrete jungle. There will be parks, and the parks will have a pathway where they all are connected.
Get connect together like a dream.
Like a green route, like a
Yeah.
walkway.
Yep.
Next slide, please. And along one of the parks, we will line that with townhouses and condos. When you look out from the park, there will be residential living along the parks. Next slide, please.
Pretty much, so phase 2 and phase 3 and 4, just is putting more homes, backfilling, and we will have an urgent care dentist office on, and that will sit on Hamilton. Then a parking structure too as well. Next slide. Once again, it's the same thing repeating. When we get into phase 3 and 4, it's just nothing but homes now. We just building homes all around. We plan to do 1,500 to 1,800 homes. And so we know we've been getting a lot of questions. Some people don't want to leave their home or move, and I don't want you to if you don't want to. I want to help you as much as I can. So my team, we came together, and a couple of my big time partners, we're going to put together a fund that can help each individual. We will figure all the way out how we're going to address it to you and put it out. But we will, because we want your home to fit the development. So we will give you we have a separate team that's only doing this remodels. Want to give you a new roof, give you a new update outside, your new kitchen and new bathrooms for the ones that stay there. So I'm looking out for everyone. Next slide. Once again, so this is the new technology. I have a prefab factory that's getting built right now. That's how we're gonna be able to build these homes quickly. And not only that, it's gonna bring 300 jobs too, and we can train you too if you don't have it. And it's just talking about the material that we use. It's new technology, so we don't have waste anymore. Because a lot of people waste a lot of funds. So this can be so accurate, pinpoint, so it can help us in our funds. Not only that, everything is green. So if you don't know what that means, energy resistant. So that means that your heat bill won't be as high as it is now. You know, mold resistant, weatherproofing is really good material. And then the rest is just more little stuff that people see. So we can just wrap it up though. But that's pretty much it.
So in closing, our objective was to bring something totally different to Highland Park. It's to bring a new meaning to the word urban, as far as the urban development of city. There has not been a new city built in America in probably generations, not years. They do have our larger cities building different portions and sections of cities, but Highland Park will probably be the first city within the country where you're actually building a large city itself, and not just a small development. So this will be a unique feature that will stand out.
And that's it.
Exciting as always. Thank you so much. Commissioners?
I have something. So one of the properties, I understand that, sir, you have some piece of property and you guys both want the same property?
No, we're not selling our property. We're gonna be in partnership. We gotta work that out. Those are the logistics that we have to work out,
Okay,
you know, because we work that out.
okay.
Yeah.
There was an issue a couple of weeks ago with a piece of property that a homeowner wanted to purchase and investor wanted to purchase. So because they couldn't come to the conclusion, the city decided we're not going to give it to anyone. So I think it'd be best for you guys to decide that before it even gets to council.
Well, according to the charter, you know, by us having the property, and I'll let you talk to that, Rob, you know.
Yeah, we've already figured that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get too emotional when I talk about it.
Okay, because
We've been knowing it for years, and we put in, over 9 months ago to get the adjacent property. Oh, okay.
We come to an agreement.
okay, so that's it. I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sure
no,
you
no,
guys.
no, it's okay. I didn't get it.
Before it moves to council, because that's when you face the issue.
Mhm.
So right here, if everything can be cleared, then,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, our
We'll
lawyers
get
and stuff
together
take care of it.
and come to something amicable.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know, So when it's presented to council, you know, it'd be favorable for the whole city.
Right, okay,
But we don't wanna, you know, stop any progress.
Got it. okay. Question.
We get to, we're doing commissioners first and then we move to public.
Okay, and so for the houses on the residential, the base price starts at $350. And so you mentioned some type of program for the community.
We'll have a program. It's not in stone right now, but we will have one when it's ready. They'll know.
Okay.
Commissioners?
Yeah, move closer then, bro.
Any other?
So just one question, you actually addressed it last month, but if you could just restate, I asked about the timeline, stated timeline for phase one, for completion. I know you are in the process of, you know, continuing to purchase the land, because some of it is privately owned and so forth. I know you're. working
So
through those.
my time zone is, time span would be a 2-year process. As soon as we start breaking ground, as long as we don't run into no issues, but we plan on having everything taken care of before we break ground. We don't plan on breaking ground until next year. So it gives us time.
2024.
Yes, ma'am.
And so 2026 would be the anticipated completion of phase one.
Yes.
Questions for me? Now, we will open this up to the public. 2 minutes, if you don't mind. When you're called on, please stand and introduce yourself. We'll start with ma'am right here, and then sir, and then after you. And then you.
My name is Jacqueline Lindsay. I'm the owner of Magnet of Mine. I own 3 lots on Florida. And I was actually in the process of working with you with the Mercy to purchase the additional lots. And I did put an application in for some of those lots on Florida. We were building a vegetational farm along the lines of the Ann Arbor Hand Farm for children to train educators and for the community. We're almost done, so I just want to be heard before we vote on your project. Or, I mean, I'm open to partners with, I'm also partnered with Faith Tabernacle as well to get that done. And like I said, the lots are on Florida. It's for I do agriculture and aquaponics. I'm an educator over 20 years. And we've actually created a program that's aligned to the state standards. We're working with Michigan State, their organic farming program. They've given us a commitment letter. I'm also working with North Carolina A&C and to bring in minorities in agriculture and natural resources through to Highland Park. So those lots that you're talking about before, I'm interested in those lots as well. I do like your proposal and what you're saying, and with everything that you're doing, in order to bring people into the community, that you want to grow a community, you have to grow the education in the community. And I've heard nothing from any of the developers about growing the education of individuals in Highland Park, other than the job training. So a portion of the proceeds from my project was to go towards the Department of Education for Highland Park, which is the educational department in Highland Park. So I have part of the layout right here. I put together a folder of the things that we've done thus far. This past summer, we did a summer camp house in Faith Tabernacle to show that we could grow the community. I'm a master teacher with UPS, and I have my own company as well, a nonprofit. So I've done it with UPS for 2 years. We're in the beginning phases, doing professional learning with teachers. So it's for teachers, students, and the community. We want to be a community center where we can do community just and things of that nature. So again, it will fit into your plan, but I know you have your idea of what you want to do, but I just, again, want to be kind of the idea that you have for that same.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna try to answer as much of it so long. If I don't catch everything, let me know, okay?
All right.
All right, so the first thing is, we don't have a problem with working with any. All right, that's, and second of all, we've been working on this deal for a year and a half. Like, you can't do this type of presentation and stuff and just jump up there. It has to be tons and tons of research and getting things together. So we've been working on this for a long time.
Okay.
Now, there has been a lot of talks and conversations about schools and colleges and everything. It's just, you guys, it's too premature right now. We don't talk to people about having U of M do a mini campus here, even went all the way up to Harvard, right? Yeah, we have a lot of stuff we have talked about, but it's not yet to be disclosed yet. We're definitely working, because I'm big in education, definitely into that. I believe people need to learn. That's how we can take care of each other and help each other, right? So,
Projects, what you think, but,
yeah, no, I love what you were saying too, what you're doing, because I have a brother, he does some of the growing with the farming and all that type of stuff too, with agriculture. So like any way we can work together, I'm open, because it's such a massive project. There's enough space for everyone to work together. So usually, usually I would let the city, in, and then they will take it from there and make the best choice for the city. Yep.
Some of the other partners also partner with Parker Village, who does aquaponics. I train kids on aquaponics and water quality testing. And Liberty Plaza at the end of the block, they own the property. I think at the end of the block. I was talking with them about partnering with those other things. The biggest thing for me is the school tourism workshops and being able to bring kids from different communities within the community, as well as, like I said, individuals coming to your hotel or residents living in the area. You're having the icon, like Detroit has Detroit Science Center, and Arbor has and so on. I want it to be iconic for Highland Park.
Right, and not only that, I want everyone to hear this too. We have over 180 spaces. So if you have a building, if you have a business, that's an opportunity for you to set up and open up shop, And we're here to help. The majority of HP, we're doing some type of rule where at least 15% or some type, we're going to get the percent together that they will be able to go to HP work and live here. So we won't leave no one out. The moms and pop shops can get left out. We're trying to work with everyone. So that's my vision. We can meet afterwards, if it gets the time and we can talk.
I heard you and church is working together.
Yes, sir.
You be willing to work with her on her project?
Yes. I'm willing to work with everyone, but it's a partnership, right? So we all got to bring something to the table. I know I'm gonna bring a lot.
I guess mine is more for this event. This being such a big project, and there's a lot of property and so many people are putting in applications. Do we have, or do you have applications of who applied for what first? Because what happens in council when they start saying, I applied first, but do you have that before we even get to all of that?
Sidewalk. You can project a little bit more. Okay, the sidewalk program has been a mess. Okay, and we are working it out separately. And I purposely delayed the major projects that you're hearing about now until we got a handle on all the ins and outs of the sidewalk program. We are observing whether it's going to be major development. We are not selling lots. That's how we deal with that. So that we don't have any conflicts. We have to leave some land for the development.
Yes.
Lawrence Johnson, resident of Highland Park. My question is, a lot of the single family unit homes, would they be like pre-sold before you build them, so that we don't run into the problem we had with Remco years ago, where they were given a lot of lots, and we had some houses that were rehab, and then the rest of them they left and they built foundations, and the foundations up until recently they were just filled in. So just because everything your project.
Well, I understand. We all have went through things in the past, but don't let that affect the future. I'm not them guys. I've been the last 7 years in Midtown, helped build that whole city. Major projects, major buildings, $100 million buildings. I've been a part of it. Anything that I touch, I have never stopped for 30 years. So we won't have those problems with us. And we do plan to have some for rent too. Some will be for rent, not all, because everybody can't afford to buy. So we got to look out for everyone. So hopefully that answers your question.
Let me chime in. You say that what we're trying to do is to open it up for everybody. Much as possible. Problem comes in when you have a developer who comes and he buys a lot of lots. There's no governance over what happens with this project. So the development and operating agreement, the purchase and development agreement that we're going to have with Romero and everybody else will have timelines. There will be reverter clauses where it's obvious that something that we're not going to go. We take the land back and give it to somebody else there. So it'll be a very tight agreement that gives them all the room they need to do with it. But it's not an open checkbook. There is a period at which we and the city will make a decision about projects. Like that. It's a business problem.
Ma'am, and then number 2, and then number 3, and then number 4. Could you?
And what I want to talk about is what you were saying about the education. How much time I don't have the education. They don't have anything, and that's important. When you talk about people buying.
They can't hear, they can't hear.
People are buying homes, $200,000. They want to send their kids to school in their community. And there's nothing like that in some parts like that. That's important. I can't send my kids to school in my neighborhood. I gotta transport my kids somewhere else. I'm not gonna want to do this. Education, having a good educational system is important. So do you have anything?
Yeah, I already answered that question earlier, answered that question. We're definitely gonna get on that, but it's not just for me to do.
Let me address that.
Go ahead.
With a project like this, education is important. You can't have a city without a good educational system. The people are not gonna come. You gotta have a good school system. It's something we're working on. We haven't forgot about it. It's gonna be a part of the development. We're trying to do, like this project here is unique. We want the education system to be unique. Highland Park does not have, from my understanding, the high school. Okay, so we need to get the education system back up to what the community wants and what they need. But it takes time to develop that process, just like it does with this. We will work with the city. We will work with the state and anybody else we can to bring in a good educational system. So we are open to that. So it will take some time to put a good plan. We don't want to throw something out there where you got a bunch of charter schools coming to the city. We want to have a good system to go with what's coming. So we are working on that, but that will probably be a lot harder to do than the actual development itself.
But we are working on it.
We are working.
And they have other plans too on that we don't know. Yeah.
Let me just point out that one of the advantages of starting out with the local apartments. You can't hear? Can you hear me now?
You gotta project.
I gotta really project.
Really project.
All right. The apartment building concept lends itself to the young professionals just starting out. What we want to capture, the kids who are being priced out of the market, I call them kids, being priced out of the market, downtown, midtown. Highland Park becomes the next step up. So we're supplying something for them to move into while they're single. Okay, and that's like a revolving door. If they do a condo, which is what they want to do for the most part, then they're buying a temporary property. And when the kids come, they move on. So we're starting with some housing that lends itself at least to this migration that's taking place within the city of Detroit. It started in Midtown, went downtown, and now it's trying to go uptown. We are the uptown.
Yeah. If you could stand, and introduce yourself.
I'm sorry, but I'm having a bit of a challenge with my shoulder. Okay. And it's hard for me to stand without a lot of pain.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Like if you could just project a little bit louder.
Louder?
There you go.
My name is Charlene Turner Johnson, and I am a resident of Highland Park. My family moved on Bright Street when I was in high school. That's been a long time ago, and they're still there. Two sisters are still there on Bright Street. But I have some questions about the project. I think it's a great project. I'd love to see it happen. But my questions are this, these. Number one, how much of the site do you control already? Number two, what's your total development cost? Number three, where is the financing coming from? And number four, what do you need the city planning commission to do today?
You want me to answer it?
Well, we can answer. Yeah, let's start with number one. As it pertains to the land distribution, previous administrations did it a different way. This particular administration, this particular iteration of council have decided to go through the recommendation and the site plan approval first, prior to there being any discussion as pertains to land distribution. So these, all of the presenters that you've seen today have come before us previously as discussion items and are now keeping in context with the directors from the charter and so forth and so on to have a public hearing to where the public now is made aware. New notice has been served, 300 square feet surrounding, so forth, so on, public notice to where now this becomes a part of the public commentary. From that point on, once this public hearing is closed, we will then move to recommend the site plan approval and advance this on to council. That way, by the time it gets to the conversation of land distribution, all of the entitlement process has already been addressed. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so that's question number one. You can answer that question for you. As pertains to what, because that hopefully that also answers question number 4 in terms of why they're here before planning. Okay, all right. Now 2 and 3, that's on y'all.
Repeat 2.
So how much is the site? What's your total development cost? And where do you project financing?
He said numbers. So the total cost is up there, it's pretty high. All right. Couple billion, still a billion. And it might seem like a lot to you guys, but it's not a lot. I already have $1 billion per PUD already. And we raising funds, we've been raising money. There's a lot of things holding up other funds to come, but I'll be able to get the funds. I'm not worried about that part. And I have my own funds too. And they can chat. I own some land, not everything. We're in the process of that once everything's approved. I don't know how many lots I have right now. I don't remember that stuff.
Charlene knows the development game back to the board. I used to work with her when I was housing director in Wayne County, trying to get some things done here, which is a very knowledgeable person. Let me say this, Charlene, the whole question of photo development costs is probably still being worked out.
Yes, it's hard.
Okay, that's still a moving target. And I've gotten into the numbers for each apartment building, what that looks like, and it's provided about the vision at this point. When they first came to us, a year and a half ago, we brought with them a letter submitted from the PUD. And the federal officials will be coming in to talk to the mayor, myself. And it was really no. That's the start. But he has taken the project to another level since it's expanded. But we perceive that he has the wherewithal to pull this off. And that's why he's important.
It's not easy getting these funds. Easy.
You're not first, then you, and then we go back to you. And you have a question? Okay, so then you, and then you. Okay, so ma'am,
Oh, I thought there was somebody.
no, you're next, and then he's next.
Oh,
And then, yeah,
all right, I just had
if you could, it should,
okay, my name is Gracie Wooten. I just had 2 questions. One is, how long do you think all of this will take? How many years do you think?
that's phase 1.
Yeah, you know, 2 doesn't sound like, I mean, this is a big project. So how many years do you really think it's gonna take?
Well, so for phase one, will take 2 years. So we have new technology, and that's the key. Staying up with new technology that's going. So I'm able to build a house in 2 weeks. That's the difference, you know. So we need all these pieces in place for me to be able to perform and do what I need to do, because old school building is just not the way anymore. You can never, normally take 6 to 8 months to build a house, you know, so it's impossible. And then not only that, we're hiring a lot of people. You're gonna see a crew, 5,000 people out there. So we will get this done, but once we have the entire project and timed out everything, it'll be about a 5-year project for all 4 phases, which is still, this should be like a 10-year project. This is pretty big, so that's like impressive.
Okay, so you're talking about more like a 4-year project.
Yeah, but it's broken out in phases. Yeah.
Right, I understand what you're saying there, but you know, I just wanted to know about approximately how long
Well, that'll be about-
all of this would take.
Yep.
Okay, and my second question is, most of this development is happening west of Hamilton. And you know, like where we are, well, where I am, east of Hamilton, like we're really trying to hold on to make you know, the houses not fall apart. And the historic district, like, you know, I'll tell you an example. On my street yesterday, somebody came in and took 2 doors off of one of the houses. You know, we have a house in that area. I'm right on Eastern Street where the house has been burned and it's been still standing for 10 years, basically collapsing in on itself. And it's finally on the demolition list with Wayne County. Now, we're trying really, really, really hard to maintain these houses. You know, a lot of them are empty in the historic district. You know, it's awful what's happening. So, you know, I know that most of your attention is, you know, west of Woodward, but west of Hamilton, but you did say that you were gonna try to do something to some of the houses, you know, I believe you said, east of Hamilton too. But it just seems like your state for the neighborhoods, which is like part C of your plan, like if we could try to do something to maintain or get a grip on what's happening to these structures that are in, you know, the historic district and some of the houses that are like in, you know, east of Hamilton, it would help stabilize what's happening in the city.
Right, I hear what you're saying. The thing about historical, we don't plan to touch none of that, you know, because it's historical. Only thing you could do is put it back like how it was. But we will figure out a plan, but there are like 9 other developers. I'm not the only one when I was at the table. That will, you know, will be coming here. So you just haven't heard everything yet. So it's just my part's my part. And all I can do is go back to the city and talk to them about more parts, but you know, I have a lot already.
We're hoping to attract the developer. Specialized, press and solve. The story, that's what we want to invite the table to help that situation. Because if the historic district doesn't come up far, then that affects everything. We recognize.
Sir. Good evening. My name is Anthony Askew. I'm a resident of Highland Park, and I have a question that's similar to what Charlotte asked. I just want to get a sense of the scale. I wasn't here at last month's meeting. I just want to get a sense of how many parcels are we talking about for this particular project. I don't think it changed presentation, but you want to ask.
Right now, it's 100 parcels in town. But that's. And we have not determined what's going to be the number of parcels. From the city. For phase 1A, phase 1A, phase 1B, and 1C is going to be primarily the whole thing. So. That's a work in progress. It could wind up being 300 parcels.
More so, you know.
Yeah, we should.
So I just, I gotta stand up, okay.
Now this is a general question, community type question. You said your buildings are 4 stories high, but they're on both sides of Hamilton, that kind of blocks out some of the blocks. So you're in front of most walking communities, they limit the height of the buildings like 2 to 3 levels so that they still get that sun throughout the community. So I'm going to keep the thoughts on that. And looking at the price of home, 350,000, like you said, you want a lot of individuals to stay, and that you're working on programs to help them. The average income in Highland Park is less than 20,000. So for those individuals who cannot afford, even with your help, with their vouchers to help relocate them, and what percentage of your apartment buildings would be for low income individuals in the community so that they can stay in the community?
We do plan on working with all income levels. Unfortunately, right now, the city is low on residents, so you will have a lot of people coming from outside the city, moving into these units, because the people that live here, it's just not enough to fill what's there. So it will be mixed use, mixed incomes. We will address that issue, so people won't be forced to leave their neighborhoods. They won't be forced to leave their city because they can't afford to live there. We do plan on having something available for the people who are there to afford that, and people who come in who can afford that as well. A lot of people coming to the city will be able to afford what's being built, but we're not going to have anything that's going to be too outrageous. We will have a mixture of income, so it's affordable.
But your cost is at 350,000, encouraging, what age group what's your target market? Because most, young individuals with small children families, are, market for 350,000.
Well, that's not the only prices that we had. We had some at 200 too. And we are renting too. So it's not just buy too. It was some will be able to rent, some you will be able to buy. And we will work something out that can help everyone. This is what it is.
What's the rental range of your rental?
She said.
The rental range.
What's the rental range for the rental?
It'll be market.
Market?
Yes. It wasn't, we will assist in that as much as possible. So another rent is going up a lot. We'll try to put a cap on that as much as possible. We can't control that, but we will try to put a cap on it as much as possible, but we can't control it.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Robinson John, Faith Tabernacle Co-Finance Director. I just want to put on record that we definitely support the project with the Romero Group. We think that it would be a brilliant idea for the city, not only bringing in businesses, but bringing in residents, people of different incomes, bringing in jobs. Love the fact that it has a residential kind of fund for people that don't want to move out of their houses, to give them a facelift, things of that sort. So we definitely support the program or support the project. So I just wanted to say that.
So my name is Greg Lewis. I'm a put my City Highland Park down real quick. So City Highland Park has an income tax. If you make money in Highland Park, you have to pay a due. You have to kick in, right? So imagine how many people they're going to employ if they're going to be working in the city of Highland Park. That brings money to the city. So that's one. Schools are based on what?
Population.
And those people who have those homes and things like that, what do they pay?
Tax, population.
And so if you have a $300,000 house in your city and that person paying X amount of dollars towards what?
Schools.
School tax. So there's your answer to the school. And then when we're talking about financing in an area, they're taking a pinky of the city. Literally, right, in the city, right? Back in the city. And you're creating a new neighborhood, not taking over the entire city. So, and they're using private money. So when that's why it has to be affordable rate, they gotta pay. So when you look at their finances, when they're bringing new people into business, it's for the betterment, but it's a small portion of the city that they're using. Bring a lot of income to the city. That's the point of my project.
That's the president of the tip.
So I just want to point out that this is an important man in our midst. He runs the Pacific Tax Increment Financing Agency, and he is the chairman of the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority that was established recently.
Don't leave anybody out. Don't want to leave anybody out.
Ms. Tammy Stafford, I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. I love the plan. And I'm glad that you picked Highland Park to do that. But in your development, I haven't seen not one historical home.
Can't hear you.
And what, I was asking him, I haven't seen not one historical home in the plan. Then I want to know, is he gonna at least do a few that's historic?
Well, that area is not for us. It's gonna be a separate development that's gonna work on that part.
Okay.
And so, but to clarify, the issue that historical districts and historical properties are, there are federal guidelines and state level, and in some cases county level, and in some cases city level guidelines that give specific guidelines in terms of what you can and cannot do. The problem with that is they are more concerned with the historical materials that you're using as opposed to a historical legacy of ownership. So when you start talking about historical materials, we're talking about things that are very expensive, which basically blow the budgets out of the water. So that's just on the price side. That doesn't include all of the political and legal stuff that has to come along, because the feds can come in and put you in jail behind stuff like that. So it's not something that a developer who's trying to do something at an accelerated rate and at scale is something that really kind of fits into their business. Am I right? Or-
Right, I done 3 buildings that are historical. Sheesh, okay? Yeah, one for Richard Hosley, who's one of the, I don't know if you guys ever heard of him, but it was 40 unit, that was in Midtown. You know, you have to put it back exactly how you had it. He said materials, you know, it costs. And some of the people that live in like the district right off of Woodward, it's the historical district. Yep, Edison district. So just for example, like windows alone, they have to go back the right way. Some people spending almost 200K on windows. Just giving you a little experience so you guys can learn and know something, so you can know why we doing what we do.
Are you gonna have like dog parks? No.
That park, yeah, that park was, it was. Yep.
No, I just want to say, with all the concerns I have, I do still think we should meet this project because there has been, blight for prior to. And it does give the city, and it will bring people to the city, you know, you guys, but I do think it's a good project.
What about I'm sorry. What about a veterinarian? Because a lot of people have a lot of dogs over here and we don't have anything like that. That's stores.
Well, like I said, remember we bring in 180 spaces, so it's easy for somebody to book up. And once we get going, we'll get the businesses. We'll get the business. Man, my feet is killing.
Any, one last thing. So there's a gentleman named Oscar who actually does a lot of craft and restoration. Highland Park couple. And he's doing a great job. So I think definitely reach out to them for their craft development.
Oscar Hot.
Any other questions, huh? Sir?
Nathan Harvey, Highland Park, business owner. I'm in favor of this project because if the Romero Group does even half of what they're planning to do,
Yeah.
it will be a boon to Highland Park. And I don't have a problem with the amount of money that they're projecting to sell these homes for. We need new residents, so we need new residents of all socioeconomic status.
Yes.
And it's just unfortunate how many things are affected by the lack of population. I mean, education is one. I don't even know if an 89, 100 population city that can support a high school.
Can't.
Yeah, so,
Not
we
yet.
gotta grow. And traffic is having trouble, because their high school is ancient, they haven't done anything with it recently. We're out of liquor licenses,
Right.
because we only have 89 of them. We're out. I don't know where Boris is gonna get the liquor license. We're out. You're gonna have to buy one from one of the other 6 licensees. So that's the entertainment part. And then, of course, education, entertainment. Thank goodness, police and fire, I believe we have taken care of it. And we have a police department that's effective and that's ready to grow. But yeah, education and entertainment and housing, it's all hinging on poverty. We need more people. We need housing. Thank you.
I'm just gonna add a little bit. Alex Harvey, my dad, Nathan Harvey, born and raised in Detroit. Spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time in Highland Park. I'm one of the young people that Mr. Hint was talking about, 35. Young professional, want to get married, start a family soon, build businesses here. I haven't been back in Detroit or the Southeast Michigan since I left for high school. I went off to college, lived in New York, Chicago, South Africa, Nigeria, Oakland, California, Atlanta, Georgia. And when I got to this point where I was ready to settle down, buy land, start a family, build businesses, build an asset base inside where I'm gonna put out roots, I'm gonna be honest, Southeast Michigan, Detroit was not my first choice. I tried Atlanta first, I didn't try Chicago. It was not until after then that I decided to come home. And my dad reminds me all the time, he said, Al, I remember when you said, I ain't coming back. And I did. But I'm telling you, like a lot of the things that you guys are talking about here, when you talk about who you need here to grow this city fast, you need people who are, yes, you need jobs and you need people who will just come and live and consume. But more than that, you need people who will come and be good stewards of that infrastructure and continue to create more jobs and build more businesses. And I'm not talking just a restaurant here or something like that. I'm talking about exporters of major essentials. Like, what does V2 of the automotive industry look like? What does V2 of the energy industry look like? Like that type of stuff, because local businesses like restaurants and things like that can only sustain the local population. But if you want to take a resource from the rest of Michigan, the rest of the country, the rest of the world, you need to need producers who can build stuff that'll solve problems all over the world. And those are and that stuff, you may not even, those are people, you gotta be incredibly talented. 2, it's gonna take a long time to do. You may not even see the fruits of your labor. So when you talk about attracting that 35-year-old young professional who's capable of doing those types of things and will also start a young family here that's going to continue that legacy, those are you want everybody, but you want those folks in particular. And as someone who kind of fits that demo, not kind of, I do for that demo.
All right.
This is exactly the type of stuff that we want to be a part of.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, we're kind of balking in here at a $250,000 townhome. I can tell you, at any other city you would actually want to live in across the country, that's a bargain.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And I'm like, you can't get a single family home in a safe neighborhood anywhere in the country for probably in a city that you actually want to live in, where you might have some walkable amenities for less than probably 300.
Right.
Just a small single family bungalow. And that's not New York, DC. Forget about that. And that's not even Atlanta or Chicago. Other cities that kind of fit the numbers that we're talking about for accessibility to attract those types of folks, you're comparing them, Cincinnati, Wichita,
we are better than those places. That's why I'm here.
There you go. All right.
So, like, I'm telling you, like, and the sooner that we can start to build stuff that attracts that type of demo, the sooner the acceleration of the development of these places. So whatever we need to do to make that stuff happen, like, we need to do it, because this is exactly the type of development that'll attract that type of resident.
Thank you.
Also keep in mind that a lot of the jobs out there that younger people are getting, they're making a lot more than we made, 30 years ago. You got kids coming out of college, and you go all the way through, but they're gonna start out making $56,000 a year. So for them, this is not unreachable. It's not untouchable.
Right.
And not only that, you look at Brush Park, same homes, pretty much. Ours are a little bit designed, a little bit more funk on it. But them homes are starting at $1 million. Same thing.
That's important if you're competing with an air conditioner. You need to project that, supposed to hear that.
And so also, I'm a licensed real estate broker in Michigan, California, Georgia, Florida. Number one, what he said is spot on. The other part, we, as you know, far too often I've seen in municipal situations where, whether it be the elected officials or whether it be the actual residents, get shell shocked by a number, not factoring, taking into account debt structures or any of these other things that come along. So as a generation for 100 years, well, almost 100 years, we've been conditioned to think about the 30-year mortgage, 369 payments. What you're going to see is the same thing that you're going to see happen with your cars. So where it's going to go from 30 to 35 to 40 year to where you're basically stretching that amortization out. Right. So now you're talking about a number that becomes affordable. So now you're not talking about a $5,000 house note. Now you're talking about an $1,800 or $1,900 house note, which is something that we take into account of where the numbers are in terms of, you know, the economy and where they are in terms of inflation. That's something that becomes more affordable. So everybody has to really, you know, now look at $350,000 because again, here's the point. This deal, the land is still cheap. So you have to take that into account and, you know, not automatically react, because I'll tell you the secret. When you all react, the politicians react to your reactions. And it's very important that we all understand. I'm stepping off my soapbox. That's all I have. But yeah. So are there any more questions? Comments? Sure? All right. 7:28. We're closing this public hearing. Thank you so much, folks. But now we commissioners, it's getting late, so let's try to accelerate this. I want to move this on a motion to recommend site approval in advance on the city council. Can I get a motion, please? Motion. George, second. Second. Aye. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. Recommended. Congratulations. This closes all the public hearing components. We move on to number 6, new business. There is none. 7, there are no others. Number 8, public comments. Anybody with public comments about anything?
When is the next date for it?
Next public hearing, next planning commission meeting, they're the 3rd Wednesday of every month. And occasionally, if necessary, we'll call a special hearing, but you know, we will get notice prior to that. Okay?
Same thing.
5:30 p.m.
Thank you.
All right, number 9, chairman's comment. This is a long one, it was fun. Thank you so much. I'm hungry. It's time to go.
All right.
Appreciate all of you on taking the time. There are no announcements. All right, the time is 7:30. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion. Thank you, George.